So let's continue from where we stopped. So it's here. Then, as we have said, single country marketing strategy is different from global marketing strategy. So in single country marketing strategy, it targets uh, one nation. And in global marketing strategy, global market participation is there. Even though we use the same 4Ps, then this 4Ps in global marketing strategy should be adapted or should be standardized based upon the need of the people. So let's talk about concentration of uh, marketing activities, coordination of marketing activities, and integration of competitive moves. So these are the things that differentiate single country marketing strategy from global marketing strategy. Okay, so let's talk about these three here. Okay, so when we talk about concentration of marketing activities, it is the extent to which activities related to the marketing mix, that's the promotional campaigns or pricing decisions are performed in one or few country locations. Okay. The other is coordination of marketing activities, the extent to which marketing activities related to the marketing mix are planned and executed interdependently around the globe. Okay. And the third is integration of competitive moves. So this is the extent to which firms' competitive marketing tactics in different parts of the world are independent. Okay, so the reason why they must be independent is because the countries differ in their culture, in their standard of living, in their politics, in their environment. Okay, there are so many different things about each country. So your business strategy has to be designed in a way that it can cope with these different situations. Okay, but in single country marketing, then you don't have to worry about this. Um, you just sell your products to the same people within the same country, so you can also standardize your products and sell similar products to these customers. Okay, then markets with great potential. So you have heard of the BRICS, and the other new one with the new great potential for global marketing is the MINT, which is Mexico, Indonesia, Nigeria, and Turkey. Okay, so BRICS are long recognized as offering significant growth opportunities for international businesses. So because these are like developing nations, right? So we have Brazil, we have Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And these newcomers are a great potential for market also, Mexico, Indonesia, Nigeria, and Turkey, okay? So I will leave this for you to read. This is a kind of case. We can talk about this second one, okay? So you can read the first one, so that because we are running out of time. So let's see here. So you remember this brand. This is a brand which is based in the UK, okay? But this brand has expanded to BRICS and the US, okay? So, you know, when your brand is global, just like, for example, in Korea, we have people who buy Gucci or other American brands, okay? So brands go global, and their base could be in a different country. So they have used they have modified their marketing mix, okay? In terms of products, they have emphasized on handbags, belts, and accessories. So that's their focus. On price, they try to give affordable prices to their luxury products. Place independence, they have independent stores in Hong Kong, in Las Vegas, in San Francisco, then in New York, so, and also in different other parts of the world. Promotion, they encourage advocacy and sharing via social media, because then, you know, social media is now very influential in promotion, and this brand is use social media to promote their products to their customers, okay? And so anyways, this is like an international brand. which is based in the UK, and it is using its 4-piece designed to compete and win this competition in global markets, right? So what do we mean by global localization? So we have said there is globalization, which focuses on standardization. Then we have global localization, which we have said focuses on adaptation. Adaptation means changing this 4-piece to fit the needs and wants of the customers, okay? So standardization is just having a similar or uniform standard products, okay? So what I mean, I hope you understand, right? So Hyundai car is not the same throughout the world, okay? Hyundai cars, they produce cars to Korea, cars to the US, cars to Africa, okay? So even though they are similar brands, but the way they are produced, they are localized or they are modified to fit the needs and the wants of these other countries, okay? So it means you think globally, but you act locally according to the market needs. So maybe a combination of standard product and non-standard approach. It could be in distribution and package, okay? So as I've said, for example, in Africa, packaging is not a big deal. Packaging is something that you use to package your products, okay? But in the US or in Europe, the package with which the product is packaged is very determinant. So people look at the package and they judge the quality of the product, okay? So packaging would be a big deal in Europe or in the US, but it's not a big deal in Africa, okay? So instead of investing more on packaging, you can just decrease the price of the product for your African customers, or I don't know, some Southeast Asia countries' customers, okay? And if you see, for example, McDonald's, so McDonald's in France, they have different colors of their logos than in the US, okay? So that is good, okay? You localize your brands. So if you take McDonald's, this I'm loving it, under quotation, advertising is interpreted or it's translated in different languages to different customers around the world, okay? And there are products that are designed to fit the needs of a specific customers in a specific country, okay? So CPG companies find that product is created for emerging markets with low cost and less packaging appeal to budget customers in countries like Spain and Greece or in Africa, okay? Because budgeting is, packaging is not a big deal, okay? Then here, you can read this one, okay? So there are 4 marketing for marketing mix, product promotion, place and price, and you can see the standardized and you can see the localized. So for example, the standardized ones, this ones here, Big Mac, brand name, and the advertising, I'm loving it. These are standards, but they were localized, as I've said. For example, if you go to China, the Big Mac is different. For example, in Finland, they call it MK Feast. In Italy, they call it Adagio, I don't know, Adagio. In other countries, so there are different names given for Big Mac, and also for the brand name itself. So McDonald's is the brand name, but if you go to United States, they also call it Mickey D's, or in United Kingdom, they call it Mickey D, okay? So different names. And also the advertising, as I've said, I'm loving it, is translated to different countries' language, okay? So the point, and also the price, by the way. So the price of one McDonald's, for example, Big Mac in Korea is different from its price in the US or in Europe, right? So for example, here, the price, standard price here is $4.2 in the US, but if you go to Norway, then you find it at $6.79. In China, $2.44. Okay, so the price itself could also be localized. Okay, then why is it important for global marketing? I mean, why is it important to market globally? Or why is global marketing important? Okay, so the reason here is you can see that 75% of the total world market for the US is coming from outside of the US. Okay, that's how important it is. For example, most of the foreign direct investments of the US are located in Europe. So most of the earnings in the US come from Europe. Okay, so for example, you can take Coca-Cola. It earns 75% of its operating income from 2/3 of the profit outside of the North America. If you take Japan, 90% of the world market of Japan is outside Japan. Only 10% market is within Japan. If you take Germany, 94% of its market potential comes from outside of Germany. Okay, that's how important global marketing is. So for example, if you take Samsung, so everybody in the world has Samsung TV, right? Samsung TV is everywhere. So the market for Samsung is not only Korea. Maybe the biggest share of market of Samsung comes from the other parts of the world. Maybe the Korean market share would be 10 or less than 10% for Samsung. Okay, so which means for Samsung to be involved in global marketing and also to curve this global marketing strategies to fit other countries is very, very important. The same holds true for Hyundai car company and also for other car producing companies. Okay, and let's talk about this market orientation. So as I've said, we have about 4 types of market orientation. We have the ethnocentric orientation. So this is ethnocentric, we have said, is a single country marketing. Okay, we have said we move from ethnocentric to geocentric when we go from single country market to global market, right? So ethnocentric orientation. So this orientation is a management assumption or belief, both conscious and unconscious, about the nature of the world. So it's a belief of the management, okay, about the nature of the world. So ethnocentric orientation is, so if we say a manager has ethnocentric orientation or a management has ethnocentric orientation, it means that they believe home country is superior to others. Okay, so they see only similarities in other countries. They don't see the differences. Okay, so which means they are trying to sell the same products, okay, not modified, the same products to other customers in other parts of the world, which is not always good. Okay, so they assume products and practices that succeed at home will succeed everywhere else. So that is ethnocentric orientation. Okay, this leads to standardized or extension approach of products. So they don't care about what other countries want and how this product will be perceived in other countries, but they believe that other people will have similar needs, okay, and their home country is superior to the others, so they deliver standardized products throughout the world. Okay, that is ethnocentric orientation. Okay, and the other is polycentric orientation, which is the opposite of ethnocentric orientation. So in polycentric orientation, they think that each country is unique. So each subsidiary develops its own unique business and marketing strategy, then often referred to as multinational. Okay, so this could be a very good management assumption for somebody who wants to be involved in global marketing, right? and often referred to as multinational. Then this leads to localized or adaptation approach. Okay, the ethnocentric focus on standardization, the polycentric focus on localization. Okay, because they think that every country has a unique needs. Okay, these two extremes might be very difficult for a business actually, right? Because you cannot go to the extreme that you modify products for each and every customer. Somehow you have to treat a group of customers, like you can treat your Asian customers, treat Europe customers, treat the US customers, like that in a group. But if you're trying to focus like Korean customers, Philippines customers, Vietnamese customers, and try to deliver a unique product to each of these customer groups, then it is very costly for your business. Okay, and the other orientation is regional centric orientation. So this is about World Trade Organization, and about free trade agreements. So this would be a very good strategy for global marketing. Because I've said you can focus on regions rather than a specific country. Okay. For example, General Motors has 4 regions, and they produce their cars according to the needs of these 4 regions, not specific countries. So a region is a relevant geographic unit, and you can see NAFTA. NAFTA is a North American Free Trade Agreement where you have US, Canada, and Mexico. So you can treat NAFTA as one market, okay, or European Union market. So some companies serve markets throughout the world, but on a regional basis, as I've said, because to focus on the needs of each and every country's customers is a little bit very costly for a company. Okay, and the last one is geocentric orientation. So the entire world is a potential market. That's how you think, and you strive for integrated global strategies. And this is also known as global or transnational company. Then it retains an association with a headquarter country, and it pursues serving world markets from a single country or sources global to focus on select country markets. So this leads to a combination of both, okay, of extension and adaptation. So in geocentric orientation, we use standardization and also adaptation. Okay, we mix these two. So let's proceed because we don't have much time. Then here, forces affecting global integration and global marketing. So what are the things that affect global marketing? So one is multilateral trade agreements. So these trade agreements, they promote free trade agreements, right? Multilateral means you have bilateral with 2 countries trade agreement. For example, trade agreement between China and Korea is bilateral. Trade agreement between China, the Philippines, Korea, Vietnam is multilateral. When you have more than 2 countries signing an agreement for free trade agreement, or I don't know, for a tariff-free or a tariff reduction trade among themselves. So because this promotes free trade agreement, this promotes, okay, global integration and global marketing, and converging market needs and wants, and the information revolution. So convergence means, for example, we have a big fan of Nike shoes in Korea. So if you go throughout the world, the youngsters have almost similar needs. For example, there is no young generation that hates Nike shoes or Jordan shoes. Every young generation likes to have those shoes. So there is a convergence of needs and wants throughout the world. This is good for global marketing, actually. And these companies also have to have a very good global marketing strategies, like Nike and Jordan and other global brands. You have transportation and communication improvements. As I've said, transportation and information technology, or communication improvement is the major reason for global marketing, okay, to expand. And the other is product development costs. Now product development costs less, okay, than it used to be. And also the quality understanding of products also affects global marketing. So everybody wants to have a good quality products, and everybody wants to buy this global brand quality products. Then this affects global marketing and global integration. Okay, so let's proceed. What are the driving forces again affecting this global integration and global marketing? So you are aware of the global crisis, economic crisis in 2008, the economic recession. So this world economic trends might affect the global integration and global marketing. For example, if the economy of the US is hit hard, then this has a negative impact on global marketing, right? So economic growth is key. In key developing countries provide incentives for investment, like the growing middle class in China, in India, have the money to spend, so that's good for global marketing. The economic growth leads policymakers to favor outsiders because their focus is to sell their products internationally, right? The worldwide movement towards free market, deregulation, and privatization. So, World Trade Organization, and in World Trade Organization, its major objective is to promote free trade agreement, right? And out of 192 countries in the world, 164 of them are members of the WTO, right? And they want a free trade, a free market without tariffs and taxes. So a product in the US will have the same price in Korea, the same price in Europe, the same price in Africa. That's what free trade agreement means, right? Because they don't pay taxes except for transportation costs, which could be eliminated. It is selling products with the same price, okay? So the leverage here, the advantages are experience, transfers, scale, economies of scale. You produce large, you can decrease the cost of production, resource utilization will be based, and you can have a global strategy where you can manage all your businesses under that global umbrella, right? Then, what are the restraining forces affecting global marketing, global integration? Okay, so the first is the management myopia. So this is some management are short-sighted, and they are nearsighted and ethnocentric. So some managements might feel that we don't have to go global and sell our products to other customers. The customers we have in our country are enough, okay? But this is near-sighted management orientation, okay? That is ethnocentric management orientation. But sometimes the organizational culture itself might also affect the global integration, the culture with which the organization operates. If it doesn't entertain integration or global competition, then it is a restraining force for global marketing. National controls could be another, and opposition to globalization, just like we said, globalization in reverse when it comes to Donald Trump's idea of America first, which is in opposite to the idea of globalization, might affect global integration and global marketing. Okay, good. So this is all about our first chapter. So this book is divided into 5 parts: overview of global marketing, environments of global marketing, global strategy, global considerations of the marketing mix, integrating the dimensions of global marketing. But we have chosen some of the chapters because we cannot finish all the chapters in this book. Anyways, this is our first chapter. I will be uploading the PPT files of each chapters to the portal. So please read them before our class because it will be easy for you to understand. So just take 10 minutes or 15 minutes review of this chapter so that it will be easy for you when we discuss them here online, okay? So if you have any questions, let me know through my portal email, or you can ask me when we start our online class. I think this online, our offline class. This online class is going to continue for, I guess, next week. So I'll see you next week with our second chapter, and let me know if you have any questions through my email, okay? So thank you for having me and have a good day, okay?